Okay, girls, welcome to Fabric Chicks Live on Wednesday. I know we're not doing a sale today, and I told you that last week, but we are getting ready to do a sale for an auction style sale for Eleanor Peace Bailey for next week. So we'll have a lot of original dolls. We'll have a lot of trims and embellishments and all kinds of fun stuff. If you're not really into the auction style stuff, we'll still have next Wednesday on the sale our regular items. So we'll have a little bit of everything. Hey, Sherry, how are you? Sherry says, hi, Roger. And well, Gracie's outside. Look at that's the life out there. Can you see her? She's working on her tan. Hey, Gracie. So there's, I don't know if you girls can see it. That's the beach out there. Anyways, hey, Ann. We are having a good vacation so far. It's the first day. So, it's kind of hard getting all settled in and adjusted. But anyways, hi again, June. I just wanted to let you guys know, because I hate not keeping a schedule because I know if we're not consistent, you won't tune in later. So we aren't having a sale today because we're not at the shop. Hi, Peggy. But we will be having a sale next week. So next week we'll have Eleanor Peace Bailey original dolls. We'll have auction style stuff. We'll have regular sale stuff, all the usual. But I do want to tell you, I tried to play my DVD player, but apparently I am technology challenged. So I can't. It used to be I would put the DVD in my laptop and it would just automatically play. So Christy's got to walk me through that because I was trying to watch the DVD on how to use the foils and the glitter. So I know one thing, because look at your stuff comes with instructions. So if I would have read the instructions, one quick thing that you would know is, so I tried to use the foils and I put it on top of the glue face down, so the pretty side was on my fabric. But I think the key is it has to go this way so that the glue sticks on the back side and then the pretty side's up. So I'm not exactly positive if that is true, but I have the glue drying, but it takes 8 to 24 hours. So the glue's drying and then I'll experiment again. So look on Fabric Chicks and see the results in like tomorrow. I'll post what happens tomorrow. But apparently when you don't read the directions, you might be using the wrong side of the foil. So that was my one tip there. So girls, if you have any questions, and gentlemen, if you have any questions, let me know. But we're not doing a sale today. I know I got several emails this morning asking about the sale, but we're not doing the sale today. But we will do it again next week. But I just wanted to show you, I've got a bunch of projects that I brought on vacation. So I'm trying, and Linda Meyer, I don't want to read directions either. That's why I didn't read them. That's why I was putting the foil on and it wasn't working last week when I tried to demo it. So I tried to watch the DVD that came with it, but my DVD player in my laptop, I don't know, it's got a weird setting. So anyways, Christy will try to figure that out, but not in time for today's demo. So maybe next week, you never know. With us, you just have to kind of roll with it. But so I am trying to take this week to kind of refocus and revamp and try to get control of things. Hi, Diana. It is an amazing vacation, except for Gracie just wants a photo shoot all day. So I'll post some photos. She's got some cute ones. But anyways, I know there's a lot of you out there that are having a hard time getting started sewing. So you watch our demos and you come to our sales and you buy lots of stuff, but then it's kind of overwhelming. So my goal is to help us all get started. I know there's lots of you that don't have this issue, like Diana and Phyllis. You guys whip out so many projects, it's crazy. But a lot of us have a problem getting started. And I know probably like 30 years ago when I was quilting, so the very first quilt that I did, I did a quilt in 4-H that was just scrappy from like our old church dresses and all kinds of crazy stuff. But the very first quilt class that I took I was probably like 19, and it was at the community center with my girlfriend Roberta. And the teacher there believed that you had to do a hand quilted project for your first project, because that way you would know if you could hand quilt it and you could figure out how to get things to go together, you could sew anything. So you can do curves, you can do anything, because by hand it's a lot easier than by machine for the curves. So that was my very first project. And of course, like any of you, I know, Mary, I might not ever get my life under control. But I'm going to try. I'm going to give it a good effort until I get sidetracked and bored. But so we did this, this hand-pieced, hand-quilted project. And if any of you are familiar with your first project, most quilters jump in and think that we want to do a king-size quilt for our bed, because that's why we started quilting, right? Not to do table runners and tote bags and whatever, but most of us want to do a quilt for our bed. So I started like when I was 19 doing a king-size hand-pieced, hand-quilted project. So I'm not sure what genius. I wish I knew the teacher. Well, she's probably not with us anymore. But that is the worst idea I can think of, to let somebody do a king-size quilt for their first project, hand-pieced and hand-quilted. So this was the 90s, girls. I'm not talking about the 1800s when we didn't have electricity and we didn't have machines. This was in the 90s. And so so my very first quilt, and I should post a picture. I know I've shown it before on lives, but I spent so much time on that quilt, and now I don't even like those colors. Okay. Like, yes. And I still have it hand pieced, hand quilted, kind of in like purples and greens and burgundies, you know, kind of the colors of the 90s. It's horrible. So anyways, that was my first project. I think nobody should start with that, but it got to be overwhelming, and I just felt like I was never going to get it finished because I had to quilt it by hand. And so finally my girlfriend said to me, she says, you can get anything done if you just work on it 15 minutes a day. So that's the whole moral of this story. If you girls are feeling overwhelmed with any of your projects, just remember that if you do 15 minutes a day, you'll get it done. So I know sometimes we put away our sewing projects and then we get them out. And I am a prime example of that because I'm always trying to show you guys something new. So I never finish anything. So I literally have probably, I can see right now with me, 3 different projects that are in different phases of needing bindings. And I've got a doll cutout that needs to be sewn together. And I've got a couple of kid books that need to be put together. I've got some dog toys or kitty toys that need to be sewn together. So it's not overwhelming at all. But if you just pick something and just work on it, instead of putting it away and then coming back to it in 3 years like I do, and then having to reinvent the wheel and figure it out. So that's my first tip to help you not be overwhelmed. I know, Sherry, who thought that was a good idea for a 19-year-old to sew a king-size quilt as a first quilt? But it is totally hand quilted. It did take me like 18 years to do it. So anyways, that's my first lesson, is that we just have to be consistent and sew 15 minutes a day. So that is tip number 1. So 15 minutes a day, whether you think you have time or not. Because if you have that project out, but try to find someplace besides your dining room table, because if you have to clear it away to cook and feed your family, it's going to be kind of discouraging. So find even if you don't have a big place, you could find a little fold out table that you leave your stuff set up on. That way you're not tearing it down, tucking it away, packing it up all the time, because that just gets frustrating. My first quilt was hand pieced, hand quilted, and used cardboard. So cardboard was really frequently used. The other thing, my mom gave me a piece of sandpaper. That was my template piece. My very, very, very first quilt that I won an award at the state fair. I used a piece of sandpaper. And old scissors, not even good scissors, old scissors. So every time I cut, my 4-inch block, it cut a little bit of that sandpaper. So pretty soon my template was like 3.5 inches. That quilt, I'm sure I can find, I'm going to find that one so you guys can see it. Kim, that is a true statement. Anyone can eat an elephant one bite at a time. So that really is what I want you girls to take away from today, is that a lot of you are feeling overwhelmed with too many projects. And I know it's super exciting on Wednesday when we show you everything new, the latest and greatest. And then you want to start another new project, which you can, but you have to be focused and work 15 minutes a day. So I see that Mary Beatty, she's not even going to do 15 minutes. She's committing to 20 minutes a day. So don't get overwhelmed, because Mary, when you go into your sewing room and you say, oh, what should I start? Just pick up whatever is on the top of the pile and work on it. Because if you try to organize all your projects, if you're like me, pretty soon I'm organizing my projects and then I'm sidetracked and then I'm folding fabric and then I'm cleaning out my junk drawer. So just pick whatever's on the top and just start working on it. 15 minutes. That's all you got to do. 15 minutes. Diana says the 15-minute thing works great. I kept putting off straightening out my sewing room, so I set my timer on my phone for 15 minutes. Now my sewing room is straight. That is a good idea. 15 minutes a day, girls. And I'm going to say this, but although I won't live by this, because I did buy the Chuck Norris exercise machine, because you could lose 7 pounds in 7 minutes and 7 days. And so in my head, I thought, oh, who doesn't have 7 minutes? I could work out for 7 minutes. That's nothing. Except for then you're hot and sweaty, and then you got to take a shower, and then it's a big ordeal. But sewing isn't like that. Sewing, you don't even break a sweat. So 15 to 20 minutes a day so we can get some things done. And then don't forget to post it on Fabric Chick Stitch Along, because we like to see what you guys are doing. And so I haven't run this by Christy yet, but I'm thinking that we're going to need a Fabric Chicks boot camp for sewing. So we're working on that. So stay tuned for the Fabric Chicks boot camp. But I do have, I'm going to show you this quick tip, because that's all I've got here with me. Well, I could do a binding demo, but I did that on Monday, so you can go see that. But here I've got these dolls that we're sewing together. So it's already stitched around, but now you have to turn it inside out. The same goes with your purse handles. So if you take the Turn It All tool, which we showed you the other day, this size is my favorite. I use this size the most. So it's the blue tube. You get 3 different sizes in the set. But you use this, and people call me and they say, oh, I bought that tool from you, but it doesn't work. The reason it doesn't work is because they're trying to shove all the fabric into this little tube. That's not going to work. So I'm going to show you guys, because I know visual is better. So I'm going to put the tube into the opening, which I left on the side of the doll. So I'm going to put this in here, and then I'm going to put it through one arm, and I'm just going to let me throw that at you guys. Okay, so I'm going to take this, and I'm just going here. Let me see if I can get this down here. Okay, so I'm just going to take this. It's in just one arm, and I'm going to work it over the dowel. Okay, so you can see I'm not shoving it into the tube, and then I'm going to pull it out. And I'm going to just leave it there, because you can't get it all the way out without getting all of her extremities. And a lot of times I'll push the tube against my body to kind of stabilize it. So there's a leg. I'm going to stick the tube back in here, find her other leg. And so we do have a tiny turner that comes in the set that's good for little fingers, and a bigger one that's good for purse handles. So I just work this over the dowel. So see how they're all just kind of sitting? We have an arm and 2 legs. So I need to get her other leg out. So I'm going to stick the dowel back in here and find her arm. And then just, oops. Oh no, look at, I should not demo live. I didn't sew it good enough. So here I'm going to have to take it. Good thing I saw this first. I'm going to take this. I'm going to re-sew it here, okay? But I didn't plug in my sewing machine yet. I'm working on it still. So when that's all done, then the body will just easily flip inside out. Here, I'll show you. I don't want Typically I wouldn't want to do this first, except for that I probably was sewing this really late at night because I see another seam that's going to pop open. But then you're able to just flip her whole body. So for purposes of demonstrating, you guys can see how easy it is to flip her. And if her other arm was not broken, it would flip out easily too. And then you can just stuff her with your stuffing. I like the Fairfield Polyfill because it doesn't bunch up as much, kind of like, it doesn't make as bad of cellulite. So there you go. And then I would take the turning stick and put it in. And then I would just run that along the seam to push out. Oops, see, look, I got to resew that too. Uh-oh, this was a bad demo. So take I probably did a 1/4 inch seam and I really probably needed to do a 1/2 inch seam. But I probably didn't pin it, probably was sewing it really fast. So anyways, that is your tip for the day on how to turn it. Make sure you sew your seams nicely. Oh, no. Sherry, you do not need at least one end sewn. I do not have strapping here. Here, I'm going to show you with my binding. So if you don't have one end sewn, and I do have it at home, but if you don't have one end sewn, right, for a strap, both ends are open, just take it and kind of tuck it over like this. On the side that's open, tuck it over your tube like this. And then when you push it, there's enough for it to work. I have it at the shop, so I'll demo it Monday. If I forget, remind me. Hey, Joanne, what are you doing in Ashland? I know, Barb. Usually I do shorten my stitch length. So when you're doing doll making, like a 1.5 stitch length is usually really good. I was probably in a hurry just rushing, and I did a lousy job. Yes, it's a true story. Learn from my mistakes so you don't make them. So slow down. Don't try to do everything super fast, and use shorter stitches. Okay, let's see. Okay. Diana, we'll never do it another way again. Are we still talking about turning tubes? Let's see. I love Wednesdays. Okay, Beth, I also committed to sewing at least 15 to 20 minutes at least 5 days a week. What? Okay, Mary Beatty. And you know what, Mary? You can get some handwork ready. So when you're watching us on Wednesdays, you can be doing your binding or you can be cutting stuff out. Look, I've got my Frida banner here, so I can cut that out tonight if we have a movie night. I try to always have handwork ready so that I can do it. Are we going to exercise at the boot camp? Well, Christy, it is always a good idea to exercise before you sew, so your bones and your muscles don't get cramped. But I don't know. We'll have to think about that. But the boot camp, I think we have to bring like 3 projects, whatever's on the top of our closet pile, and just work on them until we get them done. It takes me that long to get my machine set up. I know, Sherry, that's kind of the bummer of having a smaller place where you don't have your machine set up all the time. Because if you have to get organized, you're going to waste all your sewing time getting organized. Not that you know that I suffer from that greatly, but I'm trying to get better at that. And it is totally hard to focus on one thing at a time. But because I think our creative minds, we're like squirrels and we see shiny objects and we go. Sherry says her first quilt was a grandmother's fan. It was a lap size. It took her over a year and she lost interest. You know what, Sherry, I think that's like a detriment. I think that would be the only reason why people start quilting and then stop quilting, because they start with a project that's too big. I think that small projects are better. And Dorothy says she does small projects in between her bigger projects. She can't just do 15 minutes at a time, though. She needs at least an hour at a time so she doesn't lose her train of thought. I agree, Dorothy, except for I never get an hour. but that is my dream come true. And I'm just saying, as I'm organizing, build your routine, find your focus, and sharpen the creative mind. So I'm going to take lots of tips and tricks from here. So I'll tell you guys if it's working or not. But so far, it's a really good book. I don't know about exercising, Christy, but we really should. Okay, let's see. I was using it wrong. I was trying to push the fabric into the tube instead of... I know, Carolyn. I get a phone call at least once a week of people mad that I sold them this tool because they're trying to shove all the fabric into this little tiny hole. You actually just kind of put it there and then work it over the wooden part. Cindy Gygax, I know most of us like to work in chaos because it keeps our brain like, I don't know. I think if it's too quiet, sometimes we get nervous. It's just the way we were raised, I think. Mo, good job. She's doing the Mo's doing binding right now. I know you got to keep busy. Although when I told my husband I was doing a second live today, he was like, he had a few choice words to say. And then when I was dragging out the sewing machine to set it up on the dining room table, he had a few more words to say. But he has been married to me for 20 years. And I'm just going to say I've never gone on vacation without taking something to sew on. I don't know. I would get bored. Okay, let's see. Kathleen, yes, we have too many projects. And that's why we are like, can't focus and we can't work on it because we feel overwhelmed. Hemming my granddaughter's prom dress. My problem is too many. Yes. We just have to just pick one off the top of the pile and work on it. We can focus for a short period of time, girls. I have faith in us. Does lifting a wine glass count as a workout? It might. It's never far. How funny, Peggy. It does. It builds those muscles right here. Let's see. Okay, so that's it. That's pretty much all I have. I'll show you girls on Monday all the things I get done. Gwen, I know he should know me by now. He acts surprised, but really, come on now. I don't know that I've ever gone on a vacation with a car. If you go on a cruise, you can't really take your sewing machine. But I've never gone on a vacation in a car where my sewing machine has not been in the back. Oh, June. Okay, June, you need to join us on Sundays. And hopefully, so on Sundays, if you guys haven't joined us yet, we're really trying. We do a Zoom. It's free from 1 to 4. And we're trying to do quick, easy projects because I don't want you to end up with another UFO. So we're trying to do something quick and easy that you can get finished in that time period. So join us, June. You might have fun. It's all people who have just learned, have met each other during, since COVID. That's when we started the live Zooms. So it's people from all over the country. We have Diana from Alabama, lots of Californians, Mo's from Idaho, people from all over. So Cindy, that's it. 15 minutes. Don't feel overwhelmed. 15 minutes. You can get something done. Evelyn, I know. I have to keep in contact with you girls or I might go through withdrawals. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I think that's it. I taught you how to use the Turn It All tool. I'll show you on Monday how to do it with a tube that has no closing. So both ends are open because that's what you're going to use probably on a purse strap or maybe an apron strap. So I'll show you that on Monday. And Sunday, we will have a Zoom from 1 to 4. And we post the link to the Zoom on the Fabric Chick Stitch Along. Christy, do you want to pop that? Do you want to pop that link in case people are new so that they can find it? I know it's on our Facebook page. I think on the left-hand side, it's called the Fabric Chick Stitch Along. And that's where you guys can post any photos of stuff you're working on. Peggy likes to post the funny memes that make us laugh. But that's kind of a place where you guys can chit-chat and a little community where we can, learn and be inspired by each other. So you might need to go get your life planner. Like I've got my life planner here. I'm taking notes, and Christy's trying to get me organized. Good luck, Christy. Thank you, Dorothy. We are really enjoying the beach, and I will keep posting pictures. Gracie brought, I think, 27 swimsuits. So she's in that, 17-year-olds. They like to see photos of themselves all over social media. So there is our bathing beauty working on her tan outside on the picnic bench. And then look, there is our backyard for the week. All right, girls. We will do you. Yep, find a small project, June, and then join us on Sunday. And let's see, anything else you can think of, girls? Thank you. Where are you posting pictures? On Fabric Chick Stitch Along, I think. I don't know, actually. I just post them, so I'm not sure. I'll see what page I'm posting them to. It's so confusing. There's so many pages. I think 5 different pages that we post to. So I will post them to the Fabric Chick Stitch Along. All right, girls, we'll see you on Sunday or on Monday. Have a good weekend and post what you're sewing on. See you later. Bye.